Oh wait, is that? Yes. So that's I won't talk again in the A block.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like, yeah, you're
Good evening.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Tabitha Mills. There's a chance of snow this weekend in Lawrence, so let's throw it on over to Zach Henderson with a look at the forecast. Hey, Zach.
Hey Tabitha, thanks. It looks like this evening we've already seen a few ice pellets fall. Now we're going to continue to see a few pellets fall, maybe even a very light rain throughout the night. Now that's because we're right around freezing, sitting at 34 right now. Our wind not too strong out of the south. It's going to keep us a little bit warmer right around the freezing mark. We're going to see these light showers continue throughout the evening overnight, transitioning into snow as we go into the day tomorrow. So the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory, and that's going to be in effect until tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening is when we're going to cool down. We'll be seeing the snow come into play, and I'll talk more about that coming up in the forecast. For now, back to you, Tabitha.
All right, thanks, Zach. Starting the new year with a little bit of snow. Well, moving on now, Lawrence ends 2014 with an increase in homicides. 4 murders were reported last year. Only one of those cases did not close with an arrest. That's an increase of 1 murder compared to 2013. In the last 2 years, there have been a total of 7 murder cases. Topeka reported 6 homicides in the past year, a 10% decrease from last year. And Kansas City saw its lowest number since 1967 with 77 homicides. Well, the American Red Cross lists house fires as a top disaster threat in the state of Kansas. 6 News reporter Amina Smith explains how those fires have taken a toll on families here in Lawrence.
While tornadoes and hurricanes tend to dominate headlines, house fires in the state of Kansas has become a silent but prominent threat. Even here in Lawrence, officials say they have seen a significant increase just in the last year.
It seems like this has been a very active year for fires for us. Some of that can be attributed to dry weather and dry conditions off and on during the year, but my perception has been this has been a busy year for us fire-wise.
The local Douglas County chapter of the American Red Cross provided dozens of families with assistance in 2014 who were displaced due to house fires.
Families and individuals are devastated. What we try to address are what their emergency short-term needs are going to be. We also provide financial assistance for clothing replacement, assistance also for meals, groceries.
The Kansas Red Cross has helped more families affected by fires this year than any other disaster combined. Just this month in Lawrence, 10 homes and businesses have been claimed by fires.
The most common causes of fire, kitchen fires are the most common cause of residential fires.
The overwhelming majority of the fires that we respond to, some type of a heating source such as a space heater, and then improperly extinguished smoking materials.
All across the country, American Red Cross chapters and fire departments are working together to help reduce the number of house fires.
So the first line of defense that you can have in home fire safety is smoke detection. Beyond that, it's keeping an extinguisher in the house somewhere. And exit drills in the home are very, very important.
In 2014, Kansas Red Cross volunteers responded to over 2,000 victims, providing necessities such as food, shelter, and clothing for those in need. Amina Smith, 6 News.
And due to the high number of house fires across the country, the Red Cross has launched a national campaign to help reduce fire-related deaths and injuries by 25% over the next 5 years. And fire crews fought a fire in downtown Topeka this morning. Fire Marshal Michael Martin says at least 4 businesses are damaged from the fire, which began around 2 a.m. When firefighters arrived, they saw smoke and heavy fire coming from the roof of HHB Barbecue. Other businesses damaged were Clayton Financial Services, Jersey Mike's Subs, and Kansas and Classic Bean. No injuries are reported. And Topeka police are sponsoring a benefit for a Kansas corporal killed in the line of duty. A Zumbathon will be held at Washburn University to raise money for Corporal Jason Harwood's family. Harwood was killed in the line of duty in September when he was shot during a traffic stop. The money raised will pay for Harwood's family to travel to Washington, D.C. for a workshop to support families who have experienced similar tragedies. And Kansas could be the next state to add a veterans court program, which is an alternative to jail for some veterans who get into trouble. About 250 veterans court programs exist nationwide. They're mostly focused around those whose drug habits, injuries, or stress related to the military service may have contributed to civilian trouble with the law. And as the cold really sets in for us here in Lawrence and Douglas County, the Lawrence Public Library hopes you'll help their efforts to keep others warm this time of year. In partnership with United Way of Douglas County, the Lawrence Public Library is hosting a glove and hat drive. If you have an extra pair of gloves or a beanie or two just lying around, you can drop them off at the front desk at the library and help keep people in the community warm.
From January 2nd through the 19th, we are asking families or individuals in Lawrence to bring in hats and gloves that we can give away to people who are in need of them this winter so they're not freezing in cold weather like we're having today.
Miriam says the glove and hat drive leads up to the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service at the library, when they hope people will spend the day helping to pass out items collected. For more information about the drive, head to 6lawrence.com and click on links. Well, upcoming colder temperatures could increase risk of frostbite. To avoid it, don't go outdoors during severe cold, especially if the wind chill is -50 degrees. If you must go outside, protect the exposed parts of your body. Keep your skin dry, stay out of wind, drink plenty of fluids because hydration increases the blood's volume and prevents frostbite, and wear mittens instead of gloves to warm your hands. And winter can be a tough season, and a lot of folks just want these dreary days to go away. But there are ways to fight the winter blues. Here's Holly Furfer.
It's estimated at least 12 million Americans suffer from a type of depression called seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Doctors say in severe cases, people with SAD become depressed. Many patients claim they just can't function. That's because the brain goes through a chemical imbalance due to a lack of sunlight, which can lead to a number of symptoms, such as fatigue, lack of energy, oversleeping, difficulty concentrating, and cravings for foods high in carbohydrates that can cause weight gain. There are ways SAD can be treated. Modify your diet and exercise more. There are specially designed light boxes that are used to treat those with SAD, and if the problem becomes serious, some doctors will recommend antidepressants or psychotherapy to help patients get through the dark days of winter. And be with family. Laughter and togetherness are great therapy for the winter blues. It's a perfect way to stay warm even if the temperatures outside are frigid. I'm Holly Furfer.
And a new report shows an improved economy over the next 3 to 6 months for Kansas and 8 other Midwestern and Plains states. The overall Mid-America Business Conditions Index jumped 3.1 points from November to December. The index score is 54.4, and any score above 50 suggests economic growth. Well, Haskell Indian Nations University will expand summer courses thanks to a nearly $100,000 award. The National Endowment for the Humanities awarded Haskell with the Tribal Colleges and Universities Humanities Initiative. The $99,774 award will fully fund the Summer Bridge program in literature, a program for freshman students that require remedial English classes. Coursework would include readings from Native American authors, poets, policies, and procedures. Well, national fame is cooking for a local chef. How her dinner could make her a winner. When 6 News at 6 continues.
Plus, the offense will look very different next season as the Kansas football team loses one of its top wide receivers. I am Andrew Baker, and I'll have much more on Nigel King coming up later in sports.
Local news, weather, and sports from your community. You're watching WOW 6 News. 6 News is brought to you by Visiting Nurses. The Market Update is brought to you by Pod's Discount Carpet.
If you still need to get rid of your Christmas tree, the City of Lawrence can help. If you choose to recycle your tree, Lawrence residents can place live cut trees at the curb or alley by 6 a.m. on Monday, January 5th for collection. The trees will be used for wildlife habitat. The city asks that you remove all artificial items, including tinsel, lights, ornaments, and tree stands. And a local chef is getting some big attention. Besides being beloved in Lawrence as the owner of the Ladybird Diner and a master pie smith, Megan Hereford will soon be on the Food Network, competing for the chance to win up to $20,000.
Food Network contacted me a couple weeks ago and asked me to come on a game show hosted by Guy Fieri. So that is going to happen sometime in the next couple of months.
Hereford says she doesn't know the exact time she'll head off to the competition, but says she'll be sure to let everyone know, so hopefully we can all cheer her on. And she says winning $20,000 would be huge for her and the Ladybird Diner that is in need of a few kitchen upgrades. We definitely wish the best to her.
Yeah, how cool is that to see someone local on the big screen?
I
on
know,
big
it's
TV?
exciting. Well, Lawrence is so talented in general. So many talented people that live here, like you.
That's right.
And now you're going to tell us your talent with the weather, right?
Well, yeah, I guess so. One thing we're all going to share in common this weekend, the talented and the non-talented, is we're all going to be pretty cold on Sunday.
That was good.
So,
I give you some applaud for that tie-in.
yeah, we have snow on the way, all right,
Okay.
and we also we're going to be cooling down big time, and I'll be talking more about that after the break.
Have a news tip? Call 6 News at 832 News. Weather brought to you by McDonald's of Lawrence.
Welcome back. So already today we've seen a few snow and ice pellets falling. There is a winter weather advisory in effect. Now that lasts through tonight. It's going to be going into tomorrow until around 8 p.m. and they may be extending it after that just because it's going to be so cold outside. So we're going to be seeing a transition from the light rain, a light freezing rain as we go into tomorrow morning into a snow, most likely in the afternoon, early afternoon tomorrow. And that's going to be followed by some blistering cold on Sunday. We're talking single digits for temperatures, but we're going to be looking at wind chills of 10 to 15 below zero. So if we look breakdown of the weekend around 7 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to be seeing some of the rain still falling, 30 degrees, right around freezing at 4 p.m., but that's when we're going to be seeing the transition fully into snowfall. Probably going to be picking up around 1 to 2 inches, and then we're going to have our big cold blast coming in, and with those gusts around 30 miles an hour, you are going to be pretty cold outside. So make sure if you're up in the morning, wear your coat. Roads are going to be icy, so be very careful. We are looking right now 34 degrees, a little bit cooler up in Nebraska. That's some of the air that eventually is going to be making its way towards us, and even cold air behind that. Now with wind chill, we're a little bit cooler, right around 30 degrees. Now taking a look at the radar, we have very light showers to the southeast. those are going to be continuing throughout the night. That's going to be dropping some of the freezing drizzle we're going to be looking at. But then if we take a look right up here, our next low pressure system, we have some cooler air that's going to be making its way towards us. That's what's going to cool us off and bring us our 1 to 2 inches. Now, looking to the south, this is the stuff right here. It's going to be slightly warmer, and when I say warmer, I mean right around freezing. So that's why we're going to see the transition from the sleet into the snow into the cooler stuff. But taking a look at the afternoon, that's when we transition into the cold, right around 3, 4 p.m. This is the line between snowfall and then the mix of stuff out in front. Probably going to be seeing 1 to 3 inches of snow. The heaviest stuff, 1 to 2 inches maybe right here. 3 is going to be the max I think we're going to see out of this. And then everything else, not going to be a whole lot, around 1 inch or less. So looking at our planner, taking a peek ahead, we're going to see our really cold temperatures coming into play as we go into Sunday morning. That's when we're looking at 15 below, maybe for our wind chill, so extremely cold outside. Now the sun comes back out for Monday, but unfortunately every night we're going to be getting pretty much into the single digits, so maybe below 0 for our wind chills. Oof. When things get that cold, Tabitha, the salt on the roads doesn't work anymore when temperatures get into the single digits.
So try to not drive too much. That's
right. Be very careful driving early in the morning, because that's when maybe some of the stuff that melts during the day is going to be refreezing. Okay. So just be careful with road conditions coming up. This isn't a huge winter storm, but we just have to be cautious.
Yeah, always good to know what's going on. So, all right. Well, thanks, Zach. Well, Lawrence's newest recreation center will be bustling this weekend, where you can go to work out and avoid the crowds. That's next.
Select Warn Radar is brought to you by Niehoff Dunco.
If you're looking to work out this weekend, maybe a New Year's resolution, Lawrence Parks and Recreation encourages you to avoid Sports Pavilion Lawrence. The city's newest rec center is hosting 2 major tournaments, Saturday and Sunday, so they suggest going elsewhere to exercise. On Saturday, the East Lawrence Center and Community Building will be open 12 to 6 p.m. On Sunday, the Holcomb Recreation Center will be open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The East Lawrence Center will be open 12 to 6 p.m. and the Community Building will be open 12:30 to 6 p.m. There will be 1 cross court available at Sports Pavilion Lawrence for free play all weekend. All right, let's talk about some KU men's basketball. One last non-contest.
Yeah, taking on UNLV, final game of the non-conference part of the schedule on Sunday. Should be a good one, a good test for Kansas as Big 12 play begins next week, and we all know that slate will not be easy.
No.
The Kansas men's basketball team gears up for its final non-contest this Sunday against UNLV. We'll hear from head coach Bill Self coming up. Plus, we hit the high school hardwood where tonight the Free State boys basketball team opens up 2015 with a home game. The latest on Chuck Law's squad after this. sign? Yeah, we're Well, welcome back to sports, everyone. The Kansas men's basketball team with one last tune-up before a Big 12 play begins next week in Waco. This Sunday, Bill Self and company back inside Allen Fieldhouse against UNLV. The Jayhawks still looking for their identity following a pair of 25-point losses this season. Now, the Rebels will enter at 9-4 and coming off a tough 76-71 loss at Wyoming on New Year's Eve. Now, according to head coach Bill Self, the Rebels will be a strong test for his club before opening up conference play next week.
Yeah, you know, last time we played a Mountain West team, right before league play started, we got beat. So San Diego State last year, and UNLV's ridiculously long. And they got one guy that, you know, he's not as tall as Kent State's reserve that got in there late, but he's a, how about that dude? I mean, geez, he was great. But certainly, you know, that Christian Wood, I mean, he's 7 foot and can play the 3 or the 4. He's ridiculously long, and so we'll have to come up with some things not only to stop their whole team, but definitely put an emphasis on him.
The Jayhawks and the Rebels Sunday from the Fieldhouse. Game time slated for 3:30. Meanwhile, former Jayhawk Andrew Wiggins certainly elected to kick off 2015 on a high note. Last night against Sacramento, the rookie dropped a game-high 27 points along with 9 rebounds. Wiggins was 11 of 22 from the field with four assists and a pair of steals. The Canadian has now scored over 20 points in 4 of his last 5 games. At this point, Wiggins is the frontrunner to win the NBA Rookie of the Year award. The Timberwolves, however, are 5-26 on the season. Well, meanwhile, in 24 hours, head coach Bonnie Hendrickson and the Kansas women's basketball team will clash against one of the best in college basketball. On Saturday, the Jayhawks go toe-to-toe with third-ranked Texas. KU still looking for its first road win this year, while the Longhorns are a perfect 11-0. In addition, this year, UT has taken out 6th-ranked Stanford and 4th-ranked Texas A&M.
Well, their freshman class is really good. But those upperclassmen, and they were part of Miguel's group, you know, Gessenkor's group, what Karen and her staff have done, they've played with discipline, they've grown up and they've matured, and, you know, they're unselfish. That has changed for them. It's not, you know, one of my many little things I say, it's not about it's not about the great plays you make, it's the bad plays you don't make, and they don't make as many bad plays when you watch them from last year.
I know they have great inside presence, and they have guards that can drive and distribute the ball really well. So I feel like when we go down there, we just got to buckle down on defense and don't turn the ball over as much on offense.
The Jayhawks on the road tomorrow night in Austin. Bonnie's Bunch coming off a 22-point win earlier this week against Samford. Tip time tomorrow night from the Fieldhouse scheduled for 7. Meanwhile, some head-scratching news today coming out regarding the KU football team. Jayhawks junior wide receiver Nigel King has declared for the NFL draft. Last season, King recorded 525 yards receiving and only a single touchdown. King, a 6'3", 210-pound wideout, emerged as KU's best deep threat last year. However, this will be a major loss to the Kansas offense for new head coach David Beatty this fall. Well, let's turn to the prep level, where our first game of 2015 begins tonight at Free State High School. This evening, head coach Chuck Law and the Firebird boys basketball team back at home, playing host to KC East Academy. Now, if you remember, the Staters closed out 2014 with a narrow 39-33 defeat against LHS. However, the Firebirds showed some strong defense and great patience in that defeat. and hope to use it as motivation heading into the second half of the schedule. Tonight should be a very winnable game for the Staters as East rolls in, still in search of its first win at 0-4. Now, tip time for tonight's game gets underway in just about 35 minutes, and we'll have full highlights from Free State coming up tonight at 10. Now, tonight, a pair of Big 12 bowl games coming your way. First and foremost, in San Antonio in the Alamo Bowl. Kansas State and UCLA are squaring off. Wildcats, the 11th best team in the country, and are trying to win 10 games for the third time in 4 seasons, also trying to finish in the top 10 for the first time since 2002. This one already underway. 10-0 Bruins in the first quarter. I will have full highlights from San Antonio tonight at 10. In other Big 12 Bowl action at 9:15 in the Cactus Bowl from Tempe, Arizona. It's Oklahoma State and the Washington Huskies. Cowboys at 6-6, just sneaking into a bowl game after dropping 5 out of their last 6 games of in-game results from the desert tonight at 10. Well, and finally, a quick programming note coming up next Wednesday night at 7:30, the first varsity showcase of 2015. The show will once again air live here on WOW 6. Still in the process of finalizing up some guests, but one I can confirm is Eudora's Mitchell Ballack. Ballack has been offered a scholarship by Bill Self and the Kansas basketball team, also rated number 21 by ESPN in the class of 2017. He'll be on Varsity Showcase along with many others this Wednesday at 7:30. That should be a great show. He's a very talented player, and we'll get tons of offers by the time he's a junior or senior.
And you'll have him on your show first.
Absolutely.
It'll be great.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Yep.
Well, want to fly like a king? You can now own a piece of music history that'll make you feel like the king. How you can live like a rock star next. Congratulations are in store for one Lawrence family and their newborn baby, the first baby born at Lawrence Memorial Hospital in the new year. Christina and Justin Keem welcomed their baby boy yesterday afternoon, but he wasn't expected to arrive until the 22nd of January, so it was quite the surprise. A 6-pound, 20-ounce, 18-inch surprise, that is. Mom and baby are reportedly doing well, and so is Dad, as well as their 4-year-old brother, Noah. And Elvis fans, listen up. You have a chance to own a piece of Presley history. The iconic singer's private planes, the Lisa Marie and Hound Dog 2, are going up for auction. They're no ordinary planes, though. The Lisa Marie is outfitted with a full bar and penthouse bedroom. The planes are being sold together in a package deal, and the company that's auctioning them says the planes are just for display only. They cannot be flown. Bidding starts today, and the auction is expected to close in early February.
Where would somebody put that?
I don't know. I love the King, though, and I got to walk on those planes, and it's crazy. He's got like a full bed, and there's like that bathroom. Like, that doesn't happen. And why can't I fly like that all the time?
Guess it could be a nice guest house.
Yeah. Do you need someone?
I'd
You know,
sleep
move
with it,
in?
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. Have a great night. So you could fly in, Mom and Dad.